Have you seen Star Wars?
Not long ago, John Boyega spoke out against the Disney Star Wars films that he was involved in, saying that Disney should not promote a black lead character, only to sideline him in the later films. This leads to a lot of debate among the Star Wars fandom about the missed opportunities with this character, and in the recent interview with Yahoo Entertainment, he talks about how he prefers the Colin Trevorrow version of Episode 9, who, if you remember, was the original director for the film until he left in 2017. John Boyega says, "I think Colin Trevorrow was going to tell that story. That image of Finn with the blue flag, and you have the AT-ATs line up with tribal marks, and the stormtroopers take off their helmets. That would have been sick. That would have been dope, man, hands down." And in this next part, he talks about why he opened up on his feelings about the Disney Star Wars films when everything was said and done. He says, "I felt it was important for me to talk about a truth that is embarrassing to talk about. We all know that what makes roles so lucrative are the moments you give them. If Captain America isn't given the scenes to boost his representation and to make him enjoyable for you guys, we won't think he's cool. Why shouldn't black characters and black actors also fight for that same kind of representation? I think it's a done deal with that." So like John, many of us saw how integral his character was in the Colin Trevorrow version of Episode 9 titled The Duel of Fates, and in that version Finn's arc is being captured by the First Order, but he ends up being a type of leader of a revolution character against the First Order, convincing stormtroopers to leave the evil First Order, but also leading the charge against the oppressive government. In this version of Episode 9, Finn rallies the people of Coruscant and is an important part of the Resistance, which is a lot more than he did in Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, where in the latter he was just repeating what he did in The Force Awakens, and in The Rise of Skywalker he was mostly just along for the ride and trying to tell Rey something that the film never explained, and of course a book or a comic book later revealed. Actually, I think it was, what was his name? Chris Terrio. He said that it actually ended up being that Finn is Force sensitive and he was trying to tell Rey that, which no one would have known if they watched The Rise of Skywalker. I know there's a large part of the Star Wars fandom that does not like the script for Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9, The Duel of Fates, but I think it's hard to deny that it would have been a lot better for Finn's character arc if they had stuck to that version. And since I'm a white dude from Texas, I have no idea how it must feel to be a black guy in Hollywood who feels like there is a lack of representation for people like him. And the Force Awakens marketing campaign heavily hinted at Finn being a Jedi, and I think it would have been a unique route to go for the sequel films, to see Rey being the main character for the story of the sequels, but Finn is also a Force sensitive that trains under Luke, and they both work towards being Jedi. And to be honest, it would check all the woke agenda check marks by Disney standards, a strong female and a black guy being the main heroes of our story while fighting against the edgy emo white dude. But all of that aside, the common complaint about the sequels having no real plan for the story has never been more apparent than with John Boyega's character Finn. And what I find commendable is that he's not someone who's just taking the money and then he just stops caring about the story and stops caring about Star Wars. I think he's a true Star Wars fan, and not only did this to be in Star Wars, but also to tell a good story as an actor. And imagine being an actor, wanting to be a part of a good story and use your character arc as a pillar of that story, only for you to be sidelined and rendered irrelevant for most of the trilogy. Out of the three leads for the sequel trilogy between Rey, Finn, and Poe, I think it's easy to say that Finn was the most relatable character. He's the most grounded character in terms of feeling like he's from Earth, an average Joe guy who actually decides to step up for a good cause and realize that the people he fought for were evil and wrong. Rey could practically do anything that she wanted without any struggle, and it's hard to relate to someone who's so perfect. And Poe is the cool guy, which is hard to relate to when you're a Star Wars nerd. Hell, it seems like Poe had more character arcs in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, and he was supposed to die in Episode 7. So why does this guy, who's supposed to die in Episode 7, have more character arcs and more character story in 7, 8, and 9 than Finn does in 8 and 9? In the end, I think a lot of us will look back at the sequel films as a what could have been mentality. What if they planned out all the character arcs? What if they used all three of J.J. Abrams' outlines? What if they used all the George Lucas outlines? What if they kept Colin Trevorrow's version for Episode 9 instead of bringing on J.J. Abrams last minute? Unfortunately, we will never know. But it does seem like John is still a fan of Star Wars and is down to return in some way, even if it is just animated. He says in this next part, "I'm a Mandalorian fan, so Lucasfilm is doing well with the TV shows. An animated show would be dope, we could do it from home." So just maybe one day we will see Finn's character return in some capacity, but until then, we will just have to wonder on what could have been. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe because it does help out the channel. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.